Hi, welcome to my video on Solve Exponential Equations Part 2. Just more examples of exponential equations, and some examples are different. Number 1, solve each. Notice we have a rational number in the exponents. So how do we solve this one? Well, one way is to raise it to the reciprocal of 5 over 3 is 3 over 5. And we raise 32 to the 3 over 5. And notice when we multiply, that's 15 over 15. They cancel out to give me x to the 1. So 32 is 2 to the 5th power, 2 to 3/5. And we're multiplying power of a power, so the 5's cancel out. So we get 2 cubed. So x is equal to 8. And if you want to check it, you put 8 in here. That's a cube root. So the cube root of 8 is 2, and 2 to the 5th power is 32. And also, to eliminate or get rid of the 1/4 power here, we raise it to the -4. Again, the reciprocal of a -1/4 is -4, so we raise this to the -4. So we raise each side to the same power. And negative and negative positive, 1/4 of 4 is 1, so that's an x to the 1. And so this is 1 over 2 to the 4th, so that's 1 over 16. Number 3, we have it raised to the -1/2, so we'll do each side -2 power. And that, so negative times negative is positive. 1/2 of 2 is 1, so we got negative, or 5, negative x equals. And so we have 1/3 to the -2, so let's make it the 3 squared. So if you remove the negative, then you flip the fraction to be 3 squared. So 5 subtract x equals 3 squared is 9. Negative x is 4 minus 5. Negative x is 4. Multiply by -1, x equals -4. Okay, let's continue. Now we have a 3 times this expression to the 1/3 equals 6. So let's divide by 3 on each side. 3's cancel, so we get 2x plus 3 to the 1/3 equals 2. Now, to eliminate this 1/3 power, which is a cube root, we will cube. So we'll cube both sides. So 1/3 to a power of 3, they cancel to give us 2x plus 3. And that's 2 cubed, which is 8. So 2x equals 8 minus 3. 2x equals 5. Divide by 2. X equals 5 over 2 as the solution. And if you want to check it, you can say quickly, 2 times 5 over 2 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 8. The cube root of 8 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Works out. Now we have, we don't have any fractional power, so 4 is a 2 squared, so we're going to go with the same base. And 8 is 2 cubed. So this is a power of a power, so that's 2. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 1 is 2. And that's a square root, which is a 2, so that's 2 to the 3 over 2. Because they're the same bases, then 2x plus 2 equals 3 over 2. So if we want them, we put this over 1 and cross multiply. So 2 times 2x plus 2 is 4x plus 4 equals 3. 4x equals 3 minus 4. Let's go up here. 4x equals -1. Divide by 4. X is -1/4. Okay, number 6. The cube root of x. The cube root of 5 to the x minus 1 equals 25. And let's go with 5 as a base here. Let's make this a base of 5. So cube root 5 to the x minus 1 equals 5 squared. And we changed the root around here, so that's 5. The cube root can be x minus 1 over 3. Cube root is 1/3, so that's 3 goes at the denominator, so that's 5 squared. Bases are 5, so x minus 1 over 3 equals 2. And because that's a fraction, let's make it 2 over 1 and cross multiply. 1 times x minus 1, x minus 1. 3 times 2 is 6, so x equals 6 plus 1, x equals 7. And if you put 7 back into x, then you can check to see if this works out. And number 7, we got a whole lot of roots. So we got a whole base is 3 here. The base is 3 here. So let's make the 9 a 3. So we have the fourth root. 9 is 3 squared raised to the x divided by 3 to 3x minus 1. And we can, it's already a 1/3. So it was already a base 3 or a 3, so we leave it. So let's simplify the inside of the fourth root first. So this is 3. Power of a power makes it 2 times x is 2x. 3 to the 3x minus 1. And 1/3 to the negative 1. And so we got a fourth root again. We're working out the inside of this root. So we have 3 is the base. So that's what we have is 2x subtract 3x minus 1. And that's 1/3 to the negative 1. So that becomes, and let's go up right here, it becomes the fourth root of 3. So that's 2x. We're subtracting 3x minus 1, so we put a 1 there. So negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is a 1. So what we did, subtracting changes this binomial to the opposite signs. So that makes that a minus and makes that a plus, which is what I've done. And so now I'll take the 1/3 to the negative 1 and make it a 3 to the 1 power. So make the negative 1 a 1, and the negative flips this fraction around. And so now we have, I should have simplified the inside of this first, but let's continue. 2x minus 3x is negative x plus 1 to the 3. So this is 3 to the negative x plus 1 over 4. Fourth root is 1/4, so 4 goes to the bottom of this exponent. That's 3. And again, now we got to put the 1 back in. So because the same basis, I have negative x plus 1 over 4 equals 1. Because this is a fraction, let's make this a fraction. Cross multiply. Negative 1 plus 1 equals 4. 1 times negative x plus 1 is negative x plus 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Negative x equals 4 minus 1. Negative x equals 3. Multiplied by negative 1, x equals negative 3. So, notice I simplified the inside of this completely, and then I did the fourth root by dividing by 4. And let's continue. Another one to do. Notice this time that this is not underneath the root. Yes, it's underneath the root, but it's not inside the root, I meant. So, what's the base here? So we will go with 64. That's a 2, so 64 is 2 to the 6th divided by 2 to the negative x plus 1. And 8 is 2 cubed. So we have all base 2's. So that gives us, let me go up here. This is a power of a power, so that's 2 to the 6x This is 2 to the negative x plus 1, and that's 2 cubed. And so now the root, so that's 2 to the 6x. Square root is the 2, so that's the 2 understood to be there. So that's 2 to the negative x plus 1, 2 cubed. And so that's 2 to the 3x, 2 to the negative x plus 1 equals 2 to the 3. And because we have the same basis, then we have a 3x, and we're going to subtract this one. So to subtract this makes that a plus x minus 1, 2 to the 3x. And let's go up here. So this is 2 to the 4x minus 1 equals 2 cubed. Same basis, so 4x minus 1 equals 3. 4x equals 3 plus 1. 4x equals 4. Divide by 4, and x comes out to be a 1. So notice I simplified the inside of this first to get it to the same base of 2, and then by doing a division with the like basis, I subtracted the exponents and simplified it. Notice the difference again in here. Both of these are on the inside of this root, so I have to work this inside here fully before I can do the cube root. And it looks like the base is 3 here, so 9 is 3 squared, 27 is 3 cubed, so let's do the cube root. 27 is a 3 cubed raised to the x plus 1. 9 is a 3 squared raised to the x plus 2. And right here, I can do that if I want. Right now, I'll just leave it alone just for now. I'm going to continue to simplify this root. So that's cube root 3, power of a power, so it's 3x plus 3. Power of a power, so 2 times x plus 2 is 2x plus 4. Square root of 3 to the x minus 1. So that makes it. Now, here we go. So I got a cube root. And because we're dividing, same basis of 3, this is 3x plus 1. Sorry, 3x plus 3. And I'm subtracting, because I'm dividing, I'm going to subtract the exponents, so that makes it a negative 2x minus 4. So I just wrote this down again. So I'm going to simplify this. So that's the cube root of 3. So 3x minus 2x is x. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So that's raised, it's not changing it yet. So this is 3 to the x minus 1 divided by 3. And this is 3 to the x minus 1 divided by 2, because that's a square root. Square root is a 2. So that means x minus 1 over 3 is equal to x minus 1 over 2. Cross multiply. 2 times x minus 1 is 2x minus 2. 3 times x minus 1 is 3x minus 3. 2x minus 3x equals negative 3 plus 2. Negative x equals negative 1. Multiply by negative 1, that gives me x equals 1. Works out. And you can check it, sub 1 back in, and check it and see if it's working out okay. Now, what about number 10? Again, very similar to the ones we did in the other video. We're going to, let's see, I see x to the 1/3. So this one right here is x to the 1/3 to the 2 power, square it. So I rearrange x to the 2/3 to be x to the 1/3 squared, because that's a square. 1/3 times 2 is 2/3. Oh, that's a 1/3 power now. That 1/3 is the power of the x. So now we're going to let x to the 1/3 be a. So I have x to the 1/3 is a, so it's a squared, minus 5, x to the 1/3 is a, plus 6 equals 0. And so I'm going to factor because I got a quadratic. So a times a is a squared. Now a 6 is 6 times 1 or 3 times 2. Now notice the product is positive and the sum is negative, so I have to have two negatives. Multiply. Negative times negative, positive, add, negative. So what factors will add? Multiply to give you 6 and add to give you 5. It's a 3 and a 2. Multiply. Negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. Add negative 5. So a minus 3 is equal to 0, or a minus 2 is equal to 0. A is equal to 3. A is equal to 2. So a is equal to, so x cubed is equal to 3. Now we got a cube power, so to remove the 1/3, we would cube both sides. So 1/3 times 3 is 1, and 3 cubed is 27. And again here a is x to the 1/3 equals 2, and again we got a 1/3, so we'll cube it. Remember, 1/3 is a cube root, so to eliminate a cube root, we cube. So we'll cube both sides. 1/3 times 3 is 1. There's the 1. And 2 cubed is 8. So the answer is 27 or an 8 will fit this equation. And we got one more page to do, a couple more problems. And again, I'm always varying the problems, trying to make it a little bit different. So, very similar. I got an x to the 1/5, so I'm going to make x to the 1/5 right here, and to the 3rd power. That means I'm going to let x to the 1/5, again, it can be a, it could be b, it could be c, it could be d, it could be any letter. So that's a cubed equals 9a. So x to the 1/5 is a. So we got a cube, so a cubed minus 9a equals 0. And I see a as a factor, so I take the a out. I get an a squared minus 9. So I see a is equal to 0, or x squared minus 9 equals 0. I can factor this, or I can go a squared equals plus 9, and the square root of a squared is plus minus the square root of 9. A equals plus minus 3. So we have a is equal to 0, we have a is equal to 3, and we have a is equal to negative 3. So if a is equal to 0, that means x to the 1/5 is equal to 0. So we'll do the 5th power of each side. So 1/5 times 5 is 1, so it's 1 power. And 0 raised to the 5th power is 0. Now we have a is 3, so x to the 1/5 equals 3. And we got the 5th power again. So 1/5 times 5 is 1. And 3 to the 5th power is 243. It's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 243. And now we have a is x to the 1/5 to the negative 3. So we'll do the 5th power of each side. So x is equal to, so a negative to the 5th power is a negative, and we get a 243. So there's 3 answers. One is x, the other one is 243, and the other one is a negative 243. Again, as I said, a different style of problem. Now this one is a little bit different. I'm going to show you the reason I put this one at last if you think you would, I'm just going to do this, what you would think naturally, and that would say x to the 2/3 equals 4. So if you change the root to a 2/3, then you would do that would be a 3/2. That would be a 3/2. They cancel out because that's 6/6, which is 1. And so 4 is 2 squared to the 3/2. The 2's cancel out, and you get x equals 2 cubed, 8. You would say, oh, I have the answer. But let me do it another way and think about it. What about if I did this is a cube. So what about if I said that was a half to the 1/3 first, like this? So the 3 is a 1/3. 1/3 exponent, and the exponent ends up to be a cube root. If we did, and we cubed it, like this, we would get x, 1/3 of 3 is 1. So we get x squared equals 4 cubed is 64. Now we have x squared is 64, so that means the square root of x squared is plus or minus the square root of 64. So x would equal plus minus 8. So really, this square is a little bit, you got to be careful, because if you take 8 and square it, you get 64. If you take negative 8 and square it, you'll still get a 64. So there's two answers. So if we did it this way, you just get 8. But remember, there's 2, because it is square, there's 2 numbers that we can square to give us the 4. It's the positive number and the negative number. So the answer is not just 8, the answer is plus minus 8. So we got to be careful with this square here, because there's 2 numbers that we can square to get the cube root of this number 64. So this is a 64. Think about it, the cube root of 64 is 4. But there's 2 numbers that x can be to get 64, plus or minus 8. So I ended off with that one. So that brings us to the end of this video. And if you like my video and you've learned something, then click my like button, click my subscribe button if this is the first time viewing the videos, and visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. And that's the content that I have on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.